Are you tired of hearing everything is normal from your doctor, but you're still struggling to conceive? Have you been drained emotionally, financially, and physically with no answers? In today's episode, I'm calling out the biggest fertility myths that are holding you back and showing you why, quote unquote, normal lab results aren't really the full picture. It's time to take control with a holistic approach that actually works. So if you're feeling stuck or hopeless, this episode is for you. Feeling like this whole baby making journey is never going to work out? You've done it all, diet changes, supplements, tracking your cycle, and yet the pregnancy test is negative. It's so frustrating, and you're asking yourself, why isn't this happening for us? I'm Susan Gladstein, a holistic fertility coach and mom to 7, including 2 miracle babies after a vasectomy reversal, and I get it. Being told everything looks fine by doctors while still feeling stuck can leave you feeling hopeless and confused. On this podcast, I'll share practical, natural ways to support your fertility without all the overwhelm. Forget the everything's normal talk and the rush into fertility treatments. I'm here to show you a better way. If you're ready to take practical steps that fit with God's plan for your family, you're in the right place. I truly believe that you can have the baby you've been praying for. What if the thing that could actually move the needle for your fertility wasn't another supplement or medication? What if there was a simple, natural way to speed up healing after reversal, calm the inflammation that's hijacking your hormones, improve sperm quality and egg health, and lower the stress that's messing with your cycle or his results? This is one of my favorite tools to use with clients. And honestly, it's one of those things I wish more people knew about sooner. No meds, no injections, nothing invasive, just real support at the cellular level. If you're curious and thinking, why hasn't someone told me about this before? Go grab a spot on my calendar at susangladstein.com/phototherapy. I remember being told everything is normal. Normal labs, normal ultrasound, normal hormone levels, and yet I still wasn't pregnant. After nearly 2 years of trying, praying, and more negative pregnancy tests than I could count, I thought I'd finally get some answers. And instead, I felt more confused than ever. Honestly, how could everything be normal when nothing was working? My husband's semen analysis had stellar results. I was approaching 40, and like so many of you, I was told it was probably time to just move forward with IUI or IVF. And after a couple of failed IUIs and a body that felt just wrecked from the meds, my husband and I hit a breaking point, a real come to Jesus moment. We'd walked in faith to pursue the vasectomy reversal years earlier. So why were we now trying to control what only God could do? We decided to stop everything. No more treatments, just trust. Trust in God's timing, trust in the body He gave me, and honestly, to surrender like we had never surrendered before. And looking back, I wish I had known what I know now about functional lab testing, sperm health, cycle syncing, the massive role inflammation and stress play, and just how to truly support your body holistically before ever diving into meds or procedures. One of the most frustrating things I hear from my clients is, my doctor said everything looks normal, but I'm still not pregnant. And if that's you, you're not crazy. You're not missing something, and you're definitely not alone. The truth is, normal does not mean optimal, especially when it comes to fertility. So let's talk about thyroid health for a second, because this is a big one that's constantly overlooked. Most doctors will run a TSH or thyroid stimulating hormone test, and if you fall somewhere between 0.1 and 4.0, you get the "you're fine" stamp. But here's what many OBs and even REIs won't tell you. For fertility, that range is way too wide. We want to see TSH under 2.5 for optimal conception. So if you're at a 3.2, you might be told everything's okay. But subclinical hypothyroidism could be silently affecting your ovulation, your hormone balance, and even increasing the risk of miscarriage. And this doesn't just apply to women. Guys, your thyroid matters too. Thyroid dysfunction in men can reduce sperm quality, motility, and even impact testosterone levels. And yet, it's rarely part of the conversation in fertility workups. This is why I always go deeper when I review labs with couples, because labs aren't the whole story, but they do give us clues. And I don't want you walking away with a printout that says normal while you're crying in your bathroom floor month after month. I mean, you really deserve clarity. And speaking of men, let's talk about testosterone because, wow, the standards have totally shifted in a scary direction. Back in the 1980s, a testosterone level under 300 would raise red flags. But today, I've seen doctors tell men in their 200 level results that they're fine. Y'all, it is not fine. Testosterone is foundational to healthy sperm production, and low levels can impact everything from morphology and motility to how your partner just feels day to day. Energy, drive, focus, yep, all of it. When we only look at what's quote unquote normal on paper, we miss so many opportunities to optimize fertility naturally. It's not about chasing perfect numbers. It's about creating the healthiest possible foundation for conception. And that's exactly what I help my clients do. Take the data that we have, dig deeper, and put a plan in place that actually moves the needle. Because being told everything looks good while your heart's breaking every month, in my opinion, that's not good enough. You deserve better. And I promise you, there's always something we can improve. Now let's also talk about something I see way too often in this space. The moment the doctor gives you a label and then offers zero follow-up. You have low ovarian reserve. Your eggs are no good. It's a numbers game now. Or for the guys, your sperm is suboptimal, but there's nothing we can do. It's like a stamp gets put on your file and you're just dismissed. No hope, no action plan, just this feeling of failure that settles into your chest and doesn't let go. I've been there. And I know how easy it is to start questioning everything, your body, your worth, even your future. You feel like you're doing everything right, and yet it's not enough. Maybe you feel broken. Or worst of all, you feel alone. But here's what I want you to hear. These labels are not the end of your story. They're not your identity. They're a snapshot, not a sentence. Too many clinics stop at the diagnosis. They don't dig deeper into why egg or sperm quality might be low or what steps that you can take to actually improve those things. They just tell you what's wrong and send you on your way, or probably just throw you some medication. And to me, that's just one of the biggest disservices in the entire fertility industry. Because the truth is, there's so much that you can do to shift the environment inside your body. Low ovarian reserve, it doesn't mean there's no hope. It just means you have to get strategic about nutrition, inflammation, sleep, and the supplements that support mitochondrial health. Poor sperm parameters, that doesn't mean that IVF is your only option. It means we address toxins, gut health, and nutrient deficiencies. But it goes deeper than the physical. These labels, when they're not delivered with care, they can chip away at your emotional resilience. And when you're feeling defeated, it's hard to keep showing up. It impacts your relationship, it stirs up guilt, blame, and this silent strain between partners who are both hurting but don't know how to support each other. I've seen couples who were so weighed down by these labels that they nearly gave up. Not because they didn't love each other, not because they didn't want a baby, but because they were never given a clear path forward. They were never told, hey, there's still more we can do. And this is why I'm so passionate about what I do. You deserve more than a diagnosis or lack thereof. You deserve a plan, a partner in the process, and someone who actually believes with you when the rest of the world is saying, sorry, there's nothing else we can try. Okay, that was a lot. So let's take a deep breath. Let's talk about labs, because while I love lab work and the insight it can give us, I do want to be super clear about something. Your lab results are not the whole picture. They're just one part of the story, a snapshot in a single moment in time. But they don't show us what you're eating every day, how you're sleeping, how much stress you're under, or how supported you feel. And all of those things, they deeply affect your fertility. I can't tell you how many clients have come to me saying, my doctor said everything's normal, and I look at their labs and see 10 places where we can optimize, starting with thyroid, DHEA, or inflammation markers, but also I ask the questions that are rarely asked in those 7-minute fertility consults. Are you sleeping through the night? Are you drinking enough water? Are you constantly running on cortisol, trying to hold it all together while carrying the emotional weight of trying to conceive? Western medicine tends to treat fertility like it's a mechanical issue. Plug this into that and boom, pregnancy. But conception doesn't work like that. Your body is wise, and it needs safety, rhythm, nourishment, and a calm to feel ready to bring life into the world. And one of the most overlooked fertility factors, stress. And I'm not just talking about the take a vacation kind of stress relief advice. I'm talking about nervous system regulation. Chronic stress throws off your hormones, your digestion, your ovulation, and your ability to receive. Then there's nutrition. I've seen people drinking smoothies and taking fancy prenatal vitamins, thinking they're doing all the right things, when in reality, they're freezing their digestion with raw foods, missing key nutrients like zinc or vitamin D, or eating in such a stressed state that their body isn't even absorbing what it needs. And can we even just take a moment to talk about hydration? If your cells are dehydrated, they cannot function properly. Egg and sperm cells are no exception. If you're walking around all day with a coffee in one hand and forgetting to drink water until it's dinner, we need to talk. These are the foundational things I help my clients with, not just because it sounds good, but because I've lived it. I've seen firsthand how powerful these small shifts can be. It's not always about taking more supplements or running more tests. Sometimes it's about getting back to the basics and then doing them really, really well. Because when we take care of the whole body, fertility improves. It just does. My friend, your body was designed for this, but it does need the right support. And that's what I'm here to help you figure out. So let's shift gears for a second and talk about something that I think every woman on this journey needs to hear. Please stop comparing your fertility story to someone else's highlight reel. I mean, it's so easy to scroll past pregnancy announcements and think, what am I doing wrong? Or why did it work for her and not for me? Trust me, I've been there. But here's the truth. You don't know what went into her story. You don't know if it took her 4 rounds of IVF. You don't know how many tears were cried behind that glowing announcement or how many times she questioned if it would be her turn. We live in a world that shows the outcome, not the journey. And too many couples end up rushing into treatments, chasing what someone else did, hoping that it will work for them too. But this is not a one-size-fits-all process. You're not behind. You're on your timeline. And what breaks my heart is how often couples are told that IVF is their best shot without anyone actually addressing the foundations. Without anyone saying, hey, let's get your hormones, your gut, your stress, and your sleep in check before we throw your body into this whirlwind of medications. And look, I'm not anti-IVF. There is a time and a place for it. But if your egg quality, sperm health, or overall vitality is in the red zone, IVF is not a magic fix. It is a heavy investment, emotionally, physically, and financially. And it doesn't even guarantee a baby. So what does move the needle? optimizing your body before you ever walk into that clinic, supporting your fertility from the ground up, and that's where I come in. If you're listening right now and thinking, okay, I need someone to help me actually make sense of my labs, support my husband too, and build a plan that's just more than try harder or go to IVF, let's talk. I offer a free fertility consult, and I'd love to walk you through what working together could look like. No pressure, no overwhelm, just a real conversation with someone who gets it and wants to help. So go to susangladstein.com and book your free consult. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something that is hands down the most powerful thing that I learned in my own journey and through walking beside so many couples on theirs. Your mindset matters more than you think. And not just in a stay positive kind of way. That kind of advice makes me cringe. I'm talking about the deep soul level belief that your story is not over. Your body is not broken. That there is still something that you can do even when it feels like everything else has failed. Mindset is the difference between burnout and breakthrough. It's the difference between giving up after a bad cycle or pressing pause, getting support, and coming back stronger. It's choosing to believe when nothing around you is giving you permission to. And it's clinging to the truth that God has not forgotten you. If you've been on this road for a while, I want you to hear this from someone who's walked it too. God is still writing your story. Jeremiah 29:11 carried me through some of my hardest nights. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. This journey may not be linear. It may be full of detours and delays, but nothing is wasted. The waiting, the wondering, the surrender, all of it is part of the story, and God is using it. So if your heart is weary today, let me say this as a sister who sees you. You're not too late. You're not too old. You're not doing it wrong. You're in the middle of a refining process, and the outcome? It's going to be worth every tear you've cried. So stay faithful, stay grounded, and if you need someone in your corner, I'm here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If this episode encouraged you or helped you see things differently, would you do me a favor and share it with someone who needs it? There's so many couples out there silently struggling, and sometimes a little hope from a friend is all it takes to change everything. And if you haven't done so already, go grab that free consult over at susangladstein.com. I'd love to support you in a deeper way. And until next time, keep praying, keep trusting, and remember, you are not alone. God sees you, and your miracle may be closer than you think. Thank you so much for joining me on Conceiving After Vasectomy Reversal. I hope you're feeling encouraged and more hopeful on your journey to growing your family. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could use a little extra support. I absolutely love reading your reviews. They mean the world to me. Like seriously, words of affirmation are my love language. So let's stay connected. Find me on Instagram at conceivingaftervr and join our Conceiving After Vasectomy Reversal Facebook community for even more support and encouragement. I believe that God placed the desire for a child on your heart for a reason, and I'm grateful to walk alongside you in this season, encourage you, and to help you find joy in the journey, trusting that His plan is greater than we could ever imagine.
Thanks for listening.